These are the most expensive Roosevelt dimes ever sold, including one coin that almost reached $500,000. The first coin on this list was sold as a part of the Q. David Bowers reference collection in 2011, and is something a bit unusual. A Roosevelt dime era coin, to be more specific, a bonded group of approximately 32 1998 Philadelphia Mint dimes, all fused together in a single group, except for a small piece that managed to break off sometime after leaving the mint. This astounding era coin took place when the ejector mechanism on the coinage press failed and new blank coins kept getting fed into the press. These were then struck while the previous coins were still in between the dies, and as such just added to the group. Usually we see things like this with no more than 2 to 3 coins in a group. This rare and unique mint era was sold at auction in 2011 when it secured $9,200 at auction. Coming in at the number 9 position is this 1955 Roosevelt dime. Now, while this issue does hold the distinction of being the lowest mintage coin for the series, with a mintage of 12,450,181 coins, which does technically qualify it as a key date, it cannot, however, in practicality be said that this coin is rare by any means, as they were hoarded in large quantities, specifically because of the low mintage. What makes this coin expensive, though, is the fact that it is conditionally rare, as one of only 3 examples that stand at the top of the population report with a grade of MS68. It was sold at auction in 2020, housed at the aforementioned grade in a PCGS slab for the sum of $9,300. In 1956, the mintage figures for the Roosevelt dime returned to form, with over 108 million of these coins struck at Philadelphia, although San Francisco stopped minting coins for circulation altogether at this point. It was the year that Grace Kelly married Prince Rainier of Monaco, and Elvis Presley had 5 songs on the Billboard Top 50. But sadly, the dime did not fare anywhere near as well. A typical coin from this issue is poorly struck, with weak details on the reverse in particular as a result of overworked dies. So finding a coin with full band details is already a minor victory, let alone the sole finest in a grade of MS68 from PCGS that also displays hues of blue, green, violet, and golden toning. This coin sold in 2013 for $9,987. Although I should add that in 2020 it was again sold at auction, but this time for only $5,520, as there are now 5 grading events listed at this grade point on the population report. Then we have a proof dime from 1983, but not just any regular dime from 1983 proof set either. This is the rare 1983 No S dime, where the customary S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint was omitted from the coin by mistake. It is not a mint error in the strictest sense, but rather a variety coin that the US Mint never intended to make, as all of the 1983 proof coins, especially the dime like this, is supposed to have an S mint mark on them. This example was graded by PCGS with the superlative grade of Proof 70 Deep Cameo, literally the perfect example of the type, that saw a closing price at auction in 2014 for $10,560. From there, we head back to the Roosevelt dime's first year of issue, 1946, with a mintage of over 255 million coins. And the fact that the coin was widely hoarded being well known, it is somewhat surprising to find this issue on the list like this. Not surprisingly then, what we are looking at is the full bands example in a very high grade of MS68 from PCGS. Add to that some attractive radiant rainbow toning on both sides, although it does display particularly well on the obverse of the coin, and what you have is a coin that sold at auction in 2015 for the price of $10,868. By 1949, the mintage of this coin had dropped to 30,940,000 coins from the heady distribution of its inaugural year. This was in part at least due to the economic downturn that took place in the years immediately following the end of the war, leading to reduced demand for coins in circulation as a result. In fact, 1949 is the second lowest mintage for a Philadelphia minted issue in the series as a whole. This example is again at the top of the conditional census with less subtle but still attractive toning on the obverse, graded by PCGS as MS68. With the coveted full bands designation, it attains $13,200 at auction. Advancing only a single year from our previous entry, we now find the 1950 proof dime. This was the first time that the Roosevelt dime was treated to a proof issue, along with the Franklin half-dollar coins as well, and the first proof coins the mint produced since the practice was halted in 1942. With almost a decade without any practice, the mint's personnel had to effectively relearn the art of making proof coins, with many having a satiny finish as opposed to a more reflective, true mirror-like finish. Or you might see blemishes due to the period packaging that was used. That, however, is not the case with this coin. Graded by PCGS as Proof 68 Deep Cameo, it secured a final price at auction in 2014 of $18,800. Two more proof coins from this era can easily be added to the mix at this point. The first is a 1956 proof dime. If there was any question about the commercial viability of proof coins or the appetite for collector coins in the market, then the 1956 issue managed to answer all of them, with demand rising steadily. When the proof mintage resumed in 1950, there was a mintage of 51,386 coins. Already more than double that of the 1942 issue when the practice was temporarily halted. But by 1956, when this coin was minted, that number had skyrocketed to 669,384 coins. Business was booming. The coin was graded by PCGS as Proof 69 Deep Cameo, and at auction in 2016 it fell under the auctioneer's gavel for $19,975. This, in turn, also joined by a beautiful coin from 1951 that also sold at auction in 2014. This piece was graded as PCGS Proof 68 Deep Cameo and changed hands at that time for $23,500. Earlier, we took a look at the 1983 No S dime. Now, it is a turn for the very first example of these types of coins to have surfaced, the 1968 No S proof dime. The San Francisco Mint effectively shut down coining operations in 1955, basically becoming a glorified assay office at that time. But following the coinage shortage of the early 1960s, the San Francisco Mint once again started minting coins in 1968. It also took on the responsibility to create regular proof coins and annual proof sets from that point on, with a few minor exceptions along the way. But in the chaos of restarting an effectively dormant mint after more than a decade, a few teething problems developed, including omitting the S mint mark on a small number of coins dated 1968, including this very attractive Proof 68 Cameo example from PCGS that managed to sell for an equally impressive $48,875 in 2006. And then we come to the most expensive Roosevelt dime ever sold. Much like the previous example from 1968, this too is a no-S proof dime. But this time, the coin was to be found in the 1975 US Mint proof set, or I should say, could be found, as to date only 2 examples are known to exist. This is a legendary rarity in modern US coin collecting. Again, this is a coin that should have, as a proof coin minted from the San Francisco Mint, it should have the S mint mark, and yet it clearly doesn't. This example was sold in 2019, graded by PCGS as proof 68. It sold for a record-setting amount of $456,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.